Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, you know, it doesn't work without you guys, man. Ah, boy. Last couple of days of April, and the NFL originally had planned on having the schedule release May 9th. And there's word out that the NFL may delay the release of the schedule, which would not surprise me at all. I talked earlier today about how the NFL made a contingency plan in 2011 in case they didn't get the deal done for the collective bargaining agreement. They were worried that if it wasn't done, how they could still have a whole season and give themselves a little more time to just make sure that we got the deal done. Fortunately, they got it done, and the only thing that was actually missed was actually the Hall of Fame game. And I've got to be honest with you, I think that the Hall of Fame game will probably be gone. I mean, there's no word or anything on that yet. That's just me. And the way they had it set up was basically the season could have started in October, and the Super Bowl would have only been one more week later than had it been, because there is a little bit of cushion that you can have in there, because you've got the week between the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, 2 weeks between the Super Bowl and the championship games. You could kick the Super Bowl down an extra week. You got the bye week. You could consolidate, and so you'd figure the NFL is going to give a little more time and see how things go. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, because right now, baseball and basketball are trying to figure out how they can get their season in. And you're probably going to see the NFL kind of would like to have a wait and see attitude and see how that's going to work, to give them some suggestions or ideas on ways of making the NFL season work. Now, I got to tell you, man, they need to figure out a way to be able to do it safely. That's the bottom line. And I got to be honest with you, the way everything's kind of gone with this, with so many people out of work and the amount of time it's going to take to get this together. And even when we start opening things up, things being open and being completely open for business are two totally different things. And it may be some time before we get together. And the social distancing probably isn't going to go anywhere. You can see the power of the NFL just from this past weekend. For them to have a 35% increase, forget about the revenue. I'm just talking about having something for people to focus on and to have something different to think about and to look forward to and to give you a little piece of normalcy. It's huge. And that's why they have to figure out a way to make this work, but to make it work that they're not putting anybody in harm's way. Players, they're still working out. I've seen DeMario's tapes, Demario Davis. He's working like a madman. He's not thinking about the season not being there. And I know our Dallas Cowboy players are doing the same thing. You've seen Gerald McCoy working out in his gym and stuff. And these guys are excited. They don't want to miss the season. And I think it's important for all of us to have something to keep our mind busy. And if we end up going through the fall and the winter, going through a pandemic and not having football, man. I mean, where would we be without seeing Carson Wentz fumble the football and throw those interceptions? Where would we be without hearing the Eagle fans whine and cry? Where would we be without all the talking heads propping that guy up and trying to tell us how great he is? and how wonderful the Eagles are. You know, where would we be without all the talking heads always talking about Dak Prescott? You know, he's not the guy. We got to have football. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So they haven't canceled the release of the schedule, but it's looking like it's going to be postponed. So stay tuned for more news on that one. It's kind of funny. Um, I'm not going to mess with the Eagle fans too much tonight, but it's kind of funny how you would think that I was a Philadelphia Eagle channel by the way some of these Eagle fans come in here and try and tell you how to run the show. They come in and tell you this is the reason why nobody's watching, yet they're watching. It's kind of funny. I'm sitting here wondering if I were Carson Wentz, what his thoughts are right now. I know that they say that the Eagles got a lot of speed later in the draft. Got some great playmakers. If they were so great, why did they stay until late in the draft? And I keep hearing about if Deshaun Jackson comes back. It's like, oh, Lordy. And I sat here a year ago with Philly 500. And I said to him, I said, listen, man, your team's old. I said, older players don't get better. They just get older and broke down more. And they have a tendency that when they get hurt, it takes longer to recover. Oh, no, we got D-Jax. Yeah. And we're still sitting here looking at the same thing. Because, see, I understand this. Tony Romo was an incredible quarterback. Tony Romo didn't always have everything he needed. Tony Romo sometimes made mistakes. But Tony Romo, when he was healthy, you could put him against anybody. But the problem is Tony just couldn't stay healthy anymore. And I'm not talking. And homosexuals, don't come after me. Please don't come after me tonight. But at some point, you look at it and say, we can't gamble the season on if he can stay healthy, and you can't stay healthy anymore. But that's what you Eagles are doing right now. You're saying if Deshaun Jackson comes back healthy, we'll be great. You can't bank on ifs. You got to bank on realities. But hey, if you're good with it, I'm good with it. I am going to talk about, not on this video, but Eagle fans, give you a little taste of something. How long? I'll give you something to think about, and you can come at me, because this will give you all night to let it marinate. How long will it be before Carson Wentz is gone and Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback for the Eagles? How many years? I'm just thinking about some of these situations out there where you had great veteran quarterbacks and they get a young guy and they say, oh, there's nothing to worry about. Yet, somehow, those guys ended up elsewhere and the young guy took over. Well, so ends another day. I'm tired tonight. Got a lot of work to do in the shop tomorrow. And, I'm still worn out from the draft. But I want to thank everybody for all you guys do, keeping me motivated. One final thought. Today we crossed over 1 million people who've had the coronavirus. And we're over 58,000 people who have succumbed to it. Maybe you're fortunate enough that it hasn't touched anybody that you've known or anybody that's close to you. But to put this in perspective, this is more people than who have died in the Vietnam War. If you take the amount of people who died in 9/11, you can multiply that by 20 times. Be safe out there. Keep your social distance. And keep everybody in your thoughts and prayers. All right. Hopefully, we'll have a full NFL season. I'll see you guys first thing in the morning.